Hey guys, we've been reviewing area and perimeter. As a reminder, the area of a shape is the number of square units in that shape. Sometimes you actually can see the squares and you can count the rows and columns. Sometimes you have to multiply the length times the width. Now, today we're going to talk about some shapes that might not be a perfect square or rectangle, so that you have to add two areas together. Alright? So, for example, this one, the area would be 5 rows times 8 columns, which would be an area of 40 centimeters squared, or 40 square centimeters, okay? The perimeter, as a reminder, would be the measurement of the outside. So it would measure 5 centimeters plus 5 centimeters, which would be 10, and 8 centimeters and 8 centimeters, which would be 16, and 16 plus 10 would be 26 centimeters. Now, that's not squared because going back to here, the area is the inside. We're doing the perimeter, which is only the outside units, okay? So the formula would be length plus width, or length twice plus width twice, okay? Now, if this one, the area is 40 centimeters, we're going to look at this one, which is a smaller unit, and you can see it's 3 rows of 3 columns, which would be 9. And if we combine them together, we would say this one is 40 plus this one is 9, which would be a total of 49. Okay? Now, I'm going to take you to a website. We're going to try finding the perimeter as well. Okay, so we talked about how we are trying to find the area and perimeter of this new large shape, okay? So I took the shape that we just did, and you can see the 5 by 8, and in this you can actually see 5 rows and 8 columns, which makes, over here you can see the area is 40, okay? Now I'm going to add on the 3 by 3 box, okay? So to be able to do that, I notice, that I had to go down a little bit right here, which I can see that it's actually 2 units down. Going back here, you can't see the actual 2 units. On your pretest last week, it had those kind of questions where you had to be able to figure out the missing numbers. So this is a website I will be adding into our links. It's called Math Playground, which you might have used before. But the perimeter on the side is given to you. You can use it to help you figure out things. But I can see my area is 49. Now, I can count. We already talked about how this big, large box, the red one was 40, and this was 9. But in this one, you can see the 49 boxes on the inside. Now, let's count the perimeter to see how they got 32, okay? So, again, you're measuring the outside distance. So, it's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My 8 from my original, plus 2 right here. That's 10, plus 3 right here, which is 13, plus 3 right here, which is 16, then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So we went from a smaller perimeter, added on a second box, and you can see that it is a perimeter of 32. Again, like I said, you can use these websites to help you to figure out the area and perimeter. Alright, so when I get a question that's like this one, when I initially see it, it makes me a little stressed out. So I want to be able to break them into separate rectangles, okay? When I'm looking at this one, I see that there is 2 boxes put together very similar to our last problem, okay? It's just that there's not the separate colors, okay? So I can see that there is a box that is 7 by 5. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and create that in my website. So as I said, I'm going into this Math Playground website and I'm creating 7 rows by 5 columns, which makes 35. Well, to go back to here, I notice that I need to add 1 going on top of that 7 and 2 going this way, okay? So I've got to think about it. This 2 is touching the edge of that one, okay? So I'm going to go to 1, 2 right here, and it should match it. It's going 1 block up and 2 blocks over. Now, it says that there's 8 right here, so let's count and make sure we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you see there's 8 boxes that this actually matches what we were talking about. Now, I can see the area here is 35. When I add these two in there, my area only goes up just a little bit, which is 37. My perimeter is the one that's a little bit harder, okay? So I can see that there is 8 going here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 going this way, and 5 going this way. So 7 plus 5 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I can see my perimeter is 26. Use this website to help you to figure out your area and perimeter. Now looking at this one, again, I can kind of see that there are 2 separate shapes together. I see a rectangle right here, and I could do an imaginary line right here to split it into a little square, okay? And then I would know that this right here is 3 by 3, which I would know that on top of this would be 9. So I can draw a little box right here, and I can say that this right here would be 9 inches if I had a little line right here. And then if I was doing this rectangle right here, I'm not focusing on this entire length. I'm focusing only on my rectangle right here. I would say it's 4 by 7. Okay, so 4 by 7, 4 times 7 is 28 inches squared. And I'd write the word squared. Okay. And then I'm going to put them back together. Well, I know that in my head, 28 plus 10 would be 38. But it's 28 plus 9, so it's going to be 37 inches squared, okay? Now, I don't have any sides missing, so if I'm finding the perimeter of it, I would add 7 plus 7, which is 14, and then 3, which would be 17, plus 3 would be 20, and 20 plus 4 would be 24, and 24 plus 4 will be 28. Now let's go to our little website and see if we can build the same thing and see if we're correct. Alright, so I'm going to make it a little messy so you don't, when you go to it and try it yourself, you see that it's not as hard as you think. Okay, so what I did was I did 7 this way, and I did 7 going down this way. Now going back to my picture, I noticed that the whole thing is not, the big box is not colored in, okay? So I'm going to go 4 down, and I can actually just click on them like this, and it colors them in quick, okay? I can take this off, and you can see that this one rectangle, the area is 28, but I have to add back in to match this one, I want 7 going down. So I have 4 right here, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm going to go over 3, 2, 3, and I'm going to fill in the rest of this. Okay, so this shape and this shape are now the same. You can see that there are 4 right here and 3 right here going down just like what we talked about. Okay, again, I like that it gives me the answers that my area is 37 and my perimeter is 28, but I want you to know why is it 37, okay? So we figured out earlier that the top right there is 28, the bottom's 9, and when you add them together, you can count the actual squares. We have, 28 little boxes here, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. There's 37 squares. That's why we say 37 square units. When you're measuring the perimeter, you're going to go and count how much the distance is around the outside. Okay? So my last bit of information is I got this from IXL.com, and if you're not using the website, you can also see how they drew the invisible lines, and they found the area and the perimeter of each little piece, okay? Now keep in mind when you're doing the perimeter, you don't want to count the inside pieces, you're only counting the outside of the entire item, okay? But use these little imaginary lines to help you to figure out the area of the rectangles. So you can see that this one would be 3 times 7, as it tells you right here. 3 times 7 will be C, which will be 21. B would be not 18. This entire thing is 18. We want to see just the little side right here, which would be 5. And then 5 is actually 5 times 6 because we're doing the distance of 3 right here plus 3 more. So 3 plus 3 is 6 times 5, which will be 30. And you can see that's right here. And then this one, 8 times 6, this right here would be 48. So I'm adding 48 plus 30 plus 21 to get a total of 99. Thank you.